Hey, welcome back to Cover to Cover. What the hell is that?
Me? Is that you?
What the hell is that?
My God, it's a mugshot. No. Oh no, I don't got one of those. Just gotta look at my face.
How cool is that, bro? How cool is that?
Look at the DUI picture.
So T-Rex, Electric Warrior, great album, in my opinion, great album. It's the second studio album of T-Rex, but it's their sixth album as a band. It was released in September of 1971, recorded from March to June of that year. At various studios, including Trident and Advison in London, Wally Heider in Hollywood, and Media Sound in New York City. And it was produced by Tony Visconti, who has quite the repertoire, has worked with David Bowie on numerous albums. He produced all of T-Rex's albums up to their Zinc Alley album, and several other bands, including Thin Lizzy. So seasoned professional on this one, and it was released on Fly in the UK and Reprise in the US. Two singles: "Get It On," the aforementioned "Get It On," which was their lone hit in the United States, and it was top 10. It was a top 10. And it was number one in the UK. The album made it to number one in the UK as well. And they also released Jeepster from the album as a single, and it's been featured in I think a commercial or two, and Death Proof. It was also featured in
Jukebox. Get It On's been in a ton of movies too.
Yeah. I can't remember the let's say. Oh, Cosmic Dancer was featured on a documentary soundtrack on Netflix. But this album was a departure from their more folky roots. Their first several albums, they were like a psychedelic folk rock band, and with the album before this one, self-titled record, they started to go more electric and with some heavier, bluesier sound, in that direction. And this basically continued where they started with the self-titled record.
I think they did a complete 180 compared to what they were.
Yeah.
You know, they were like a Bob Dylan or a Woody Guthrie type. From what I saw in that documentary, it was kind of like he always sat down in Indian style and did his performance on stage.
Yeah, and it was they were a two-piece beforehand too.
Yeah.
And the other guy did majority was percussion.
Straight up Bob Dylan style. Went electric.
Yeah. They sold out.
And that's what they were accused of with this record too. Accused of selling out.
I hate that.
Yeah.
I hate the selling out shit.
We talk about it like every other episode.
Such crap, bro. I was, my God, I was looking at, okay, you know the good, the bad, and the ugly? Okay, this is totally off topic, but we're talking about selling out.
That's us.
Yes.
We're the good. You
The
guys
bad.
decide the other ones.
And I'm the ugly. You remember those movies, right?
Yeah, the spaghetti westerns.
Right. The guy that did the music for that, the guy's name is Ennio Morricone. I
Yeah.
might have butchered his name. But I saw a doc on him, and he started out doing like compositions and all this, and he went to a school, and there was his teacher was, somebody big and all that. And he started doing those spaghetti westerns and TV shows, and he even had to use another name. He couldn't put his own name on it at the beginning. And then when they was found out that he was doing those soundtracks, he was accused of being a sellout and this and that and all this crap, right? There's always a sellout. There's always people that are going to hate.
That's kind of weird though, because with like classical music, where else do you go other than
Exactly.
worse?
What did you want?
I've been making classical albums, really.
But they even hated on that. He wasn't making serious music. He wasn't this. But you know what? I was watching a documentary on him and not on his freaking teacher who decided not to sell out or do anything, monumental and all that. I'm sorry, off topic, but I'm sick of all that sellout bullshit, haters, and all that crap. Make money, become a legend, and do your own shit, and fuck everybody.
You may be off topic, but you're right. I mean, you got to go. There's certain things you got to go with a direction, and the direction that they went, in Mark's own words, is that because he was very spiritual, he was very cosmic, cosmically spiritual, whatever you want to say. But he, in his mind, it was what it was going to be. But in that moment, everything was lined up for it to be popular. And if that makes him a sellout, that makes him a sellout.
Let me ask you this: would we be talking about them if they would have stayed the way they were at the beginning?
No,
Probably
no way.
not. No.
It would have been a drop in the bucket hippie band.
Probably not. Exactly. So at the end of it, it was good that they sold out.
I agree. At least over here in the States, it seemed like they did pretty well over in the UK.
Yeah. Yeah, and their albums today have significant cult following. So it's I mean, they're not forgotten. They're not forgotten,
Right.
At least Mark's not forgotten for sure. He tragically passed away in a car accident at the age of 29. So it was, I think the combination probably solidified his position in history.
Yeah. I definitely think he had potential to become big. I think the 80s would have been good with him. Because I think he would have changed for the sound in the 80s, either make like a new wave type sound or something.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Because I was telling him the sound of this album from 1971 to me sounded like it could have came right out of the late 80s,
Mm-hmm.
early 90s,
Mm-hmm.
Had you heard this before?
No, I haven't.
Yeah.
I've heard of the name before.
Now, I know, they'll Get It On. I knew that, but I hadn't heard any of their other stuff. How did you get into them, Donnie?
Well, there was two things. One was, I've mentioned this before, BMG music. It just came up on my radar, and it also happened to be on a list of You know, it was on the Rolling Stone. I thought, oh, I'll check it out. You know, so I got it, and I didn't bring it in with me. It's out in the truck because I've been listening to it in the truck. But the packaging is like just like it would have been in a record, but it's CD, and I like that type of packaging. And they even the reproduction. What's up, Rod? The reproduction or the reissue comes with the poster that was originally with the original release when it came out on record and all that stuff. And I like the aesthetically pleasing album covers are fantastic.
Yeah,
Coconut.
this album cover is like top of the line for early 70s.
It is, right?
Just looking at that album cover, I'm like, it looks like a cool album. So,
it does. It looks like I could picture this album cover as a poster on a T-shirt.
oh yeah. Oh,
The whole
T-shirt,
shebang.
definitely.
Definitely a cool picture.
And for me, the album didn't disappoint. When I got it, I had it in. I put it in my stereo at the time. I had a 5-disc changer, great big stack with dual cassette player and record player on top, but I had it in that, and I think I put it on repeat for like a month. I was just not disappointed. I mean, for me, there's not a drop on that album. It's one of those albums where every one of them is a solid track, including Bang a Gong, which is kind of people probably see it as cheesy, but at the same time,
I think it still rocks, man. I think that song still rocks.
It does.
There's a sentimental, emotional connection with that song from my wife and I. So, you know.
And what is that?
That's a little personal, don't you think? I'm not going to say that live. I'll get slapped.
You brought it up, bro. You brought it up. I didn't.
That's why I said personal, intimate connection with it.
We can we'll leave it to our imagination.
Right.
Yeah, I think the song's an awesome hype song.
It
Like,
is.
that's usually when it's used in the movies. It's like to hype up a scene or somebody getting ready for something. I dig it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, dig it.
Oh, what's so funny?
He's doing his best macho man. I love it.
He froze, Don.
He froze on that thought. On that.
Damn.
Good times. Good times.
I was going to say about the production and stuff. They stretched it out basically because they were on tour. So they basically recorded wherever they had time available or whatever, and spread it out. And they picked up, like, Rick Wakeman's on the album. Ian McDonald from King Crimson is on the album. Flo and Eddie from the Turtles. It's just, there's a lot of stuff involved with this album that add to it.
Also, too, I see or read that Mark was basically the godfather of glam rock. This was kind of like the start of glam rock.
Yeah, it's noted as the first glam album.
Okay, I just want to interject. I read that also, but I didn't get a lot of glam. It's not what I was expecting as far as glam rock.
I think they labeled it glam rock because of the flamboyancy of him.
Not necessarily the music.
Yeah, because I got in this discussion with one of my coworkers because he was saying that Iggy Pop is labeled as or is in a glam rock category. I said there ain't no way Iggy Pop's, because I said his music wasn't flamboyant. He was, but at some points in his career where he did
the new wave or even early
with his fashion, but it wasn't extreme like say Bowie or even Mark.
I was considered him original punk, Iggy.
Yeah. For me, that's original. Yeah, that's punk.
Like New York Dolls. They say New York
Yeah.
Dolls is like glam rock because of the makeup but
But
think
at the same time, they were kind of punk.
Yeah, I
musically.
consider New York Dolls punk, early
Yeah.
punk.
I heard this and I did not get glam rock.
No,
Yeah.
I heard
At all. At all.
Well, you got to that too. It's his change in sound, and then he came out just like the appearance and coming on top. What was the top of the pops with the glitter under his eyes and the whatever he was wearing, the high heeled shoes
platforms.
and
I mean, I could kind of hear it in his voice, his style of singing, kinda.
But you don't hear the flamboyance in the music.
No,
right.
You hear it more like in Bowie and stuff,
right.
like Space Odyssey and all that shit.
You guys remember that band Savage Garden? I think they might have only had one hit or something.
Mm-hmm.
That singer, I thought sounds just like Mark, the way he sang in a couple songs that on this album kind of sounded like, God, I don't even remember the name of the song.
Let me ask you both. How many times did you hear this? Did you listen to this album?
3.5 times ish. I was on the halftime before we started the show.
I listened to it quite a few times myself. I would just let it play, and I would put it in the house when I was, here by myself, and I would just let it play. I found myself listening to it a lot more than I thought I would. It surprised me.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was like the glam rock. Like there's only like really two ones that are a little bit. They're kind of slow songs. Get It On, and what's the other one? Is it
Cheaper?
And then there's another one.
Rip off.
Yeah, it might be Rip Off. There's one with the M. What's
Oh, the Motivator or the Monolith, maybe.
Motivator? The Motivator's a little bit more, right?
Yeah.
But other than that, the songs aren't real. Like Get It On is the main song that really moves. It for me. It was just like especially the first one. Was it Mambo Sun? Is it Mambo Sun?
Yeah.
But I loved it. I'm not saying it's bad, but I loved it. I was really surprised with this album. It wasn't what I was expecting, but at the same time, it was. I enjoyed it. I heard it maybe 4 or 5 times.
I've heard this album a lot over the years, so
Yeah.
because it's one of those ones that goes and sinks its teeth in.
And you just listen to the whole thing. It's not like you're just going for one song.
Yep.
You just let it play, like Dark Side of the Moon. You just let it play.
Yeah.
Just let it.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And I never skip through it, not even
Yeah.
Bang or Gone. Never.
If there would be a time to skip, it would be that one.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you don't have to.
Nope.
No.
No, because it rides along with the rest of all of them are cohesive. They just we've talked about this before with albums, that systematic flow.
Yeah.
And this is one of those albums. It just flows.
Yeah,
I
it's like
T-Rex, and I was not expecting it.
it feels like a lot of the albums from this series we've been doing have had that, where it's all kind of not one note, but it all flows well together, like one big song, kind of.
And I don't think you get that anymore.
No,
That's
not
all.
really.
You don't get that anymore.
Mm-mm.
There was more thought to which song came after which song, the song placement in albums. That's a lost art, man. That doesn't exist anymore. Now it's just singles.
Yeah.
As far as what I've seen, I could be wrong. I'm sure there's exceptions.
And the producers were different back then too. They layered them different. They put more thought into what they were doing in the studio with it. And
Like I was listening to this album and I was thinking to myself, usually your teenage years, those songs stay with you, right? More than anything. Like if you put 80s music for me, I pretty much know them all. Right?
Yeah.
I pretty much, like, I did this one stupid quiz on YouTube and they were playing songs. Do you know this song of the 80s? And I was like, 100%. I knew every song. It wasn't even by a note I knew the freaking song. But I was listening to this album and I was like, dude, the 70s for me was the best decade of music. And it wasn't my teenage years, but I think it was just the musicianship, the everything, the differences. Like even this, I didn't think I was gonna like this, but goddamn, I found a lot of shit that I liked, and I wasn't expecting that. And that's usually been the case with when we do 70s albums that I've never heard.
Yeah.
I usually like them, or there's one song that sticks out, and it's like one of my favorite all-time songs. Like when we did Bowie, I forget the song now. I know the song and I can find it, but
Starman.
Starman, dude, that song blew me away. The rest of the album I was okay with, but that song blew me away. And I find that with 70s albums. I don't find that with everybody else as much. I think for me, the 70s was the best decade of music, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, I definitely like the 70s. A lot of good stuff in the 70s.
yeah,
For me, the album grew on me after I heard it the first time. Because the first time I heard it, I wasn't super big with it.
Me too. Me too.
It seemed like when I was overly focused on listening to the songs, they all bled together.
Yes.
But I even told him, the third time I listened to the album, I put it on, I had it turned up, I'm looking at my phone, reading Wikipedia on them and stuff like that, and it's like, dude, the songs just kept popping. I'm like, oh man, that sounds better. That sounds good. Stuff I didn't hear before,
Yes.
Before it's like, it's all kind of. There was a couple songs where it almost sounds like the same song, just different lyrics. But then you got the slow bangers, like Life's a Gas and stuff like that. It's like
That's exactly.
I told him that after listening to it the third time, I said I would buy this album. I would buy it on vinyl.
I would too. Good Donnie. He's pissed off that we like it. But he was.
no, I'm not.
These fuckers, man, they like it too. This was our album. Now it's their album.
Yeah, it's. Well, I was just thinking about what Jim just said, along with what Jim just said about like little nuances and stuff. And I remember when I listened to this, when I was introduced to this 15, 16, 17 years ago, I think, I don't remember. It was quite a while ago. It was before I had kids. And like some of the little hooks in the songs, particularly like Mambo Sun, and that, and it's like they would just pop into my head at work. I'd be just, driving around. I'm like, that just pop in my head. I'm like, what song is that? Because it was fresh to me. I didn't know. And I go, oh, there it is. I'd be listening to it. Oh, there it is.
I dug his style of singing. Like, it was kind of chill, kind of relaxed. Nothing. He's not overstraining and yelling really. Like, I don't know. It works.
It's not what I was expecting with glam rock. It was not. It wasn't what I was expecting at all.
At first, I just wasn't really into it. First 2 times I heard it, because I was expecting Deep Purple. I was expecting to hear Machine Head just from like the album cover, and it really wasn't. So it kind of turned me off at first. But today I listened to it maybe like 4 times, and just kept going. And I do really enjoy it.
Yeah,
it's good.
It's so weird, right? Because you were thinking it was going to be more energy and more of this, and it was just a lot. But it was. There's nothing wrong with it. It was just, dude, you just play it on and you're just chilling.
Yeah,
chilling, listening to it. Dude.
I need to fact check myself. It wasn't Savage Garden I was thinking of. I guess it was the Rockette, whatever, the song "The Look."
Oh, Roxette, yeah.
Roxette, yes. You know what song I'm talking about? She's got the look. No.
Yeah.
That's the singing in that song sounds like
a little
Mark's
bit, yeah.
song. Just go back and listen to it afterwards. I think you'll be surprised.
Yeah, I gotta do that because I do not see it right now.
Yeah.
I would not have thought of Roxette. No.
I don't know where Savage Garden came. I thought Savage Garden had did that song. Excuse me.
I thought you were gonna say "Swing Out Sister."
No.
But yeah, there's a lot of little things in this that just, like the beginning of Lean Woman Blues, where he's like 1, 2, and then he just gets into it.
That's been sampled in other songs, man. I've heard that before this. It's been sampled.
Never heard it.
I've heard it sampled.
There's definitely a lot to dissect with this album. I was just looking up like certain little things here and there, and did you guys know the bang a gong? What that was like slang for back then?
No.
Do a line of cocaine.
Really?
Yeah, I read that. It's a little fun fact for you youngsters out there. So next time you hear the song again, just take out "Bang the Gong" with "Snort a Line."
Okay.
And the Jeepster, I guess he was singing about a Jeep.
What was it really?
I'm still trying to figure that out.
So was it a Jeepster?
Hold on. Well, according to the Urban Dictionary, Jeepster is a term that refers pretty much to an adolescent or young male individual of more or less average and or insignificant stature.
What does that mean?
Scrawny dude, I guess.
Dork.
A geek.
Okay.
Isn't that geek?
Look, right here.
That's
Jeepster.
The dude look tonight.
That's the dude.
I can't take this.
I can't take.
He's gone.
He looks like the dude tonight with that sweater.
He is the dude tonight.
Is that who he is? He's the dude.
Man.
Yeah, that's gonna be his Halloween get up.
He's got to go get the rug really tied the room together.
Get my candy, man.
I'm gonna be Walter.
He abides. You're gonna. Oh, Walter, nice.
Yeah, I'm gonna be Walter for Halloween with him. Walk around my Folgers can and
I'll be. I'll be the Jesus, bro. I'll be the.
you said it, man.
Nobody-
Let me
tell you something, Bandejo. You come flash in your piece, I take it away from you.
I'll take it away.
Pull the fucking trigger till it goes click. Jesus. You said it, man. Nobody fucks with it, Jesus.
You said it, man.
Liam and me, we're gonna fuck you. What's this bullshit? What's this day arrest bullshit? I don't care. All right, we're going off the rails here.
I do have to say, I watched the BBC documentary, and from the beginning, Mark seemed like a real humble guy.
He definitely got flamboyant, that's for sure. Like complete freaking rock star.
Yeah.
Like his head was like a Funko Pop. Like he would thought he was like the rock star.
They were saying like before he was 10, he thought he was everything it could be.
You had a big ego. How could you not be though?
And it said that he was only like 5'4". He was a little guy.
He was the
Yeah, he
Jesus.
was short. Yeah, he was short.
How can your head not get big? Huh?
I mean, when the very first record that you put out is like the title was a mile long,
That tells
you got to have an ego.
you have to have ego.
You know, it's my people were fair and had sky in their hair, but now they're content to wear stars on their brows.
That's the album name?
That was their first album.
Jeez.
How, I mean,
What was
it's
the
late
artist
and it's
album?
folk rock.
Damn.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like folk rock title.
I did see too in the documentary too. I don't know if I caught it right, but he was also like one of the early singers that recorded his tracks separate from the rest of the band. Like
Too good for him.
Like he was in
He won't be in the same room.
he was
with
in
you.
like another state or another area, and the band was over here, and he did his tracks. He laid down his tracks. They did their tracks over here, and
But
I guess the band couldn't fit in the room with his big head.
become the norm? Would that become the norm? People doing the different tracks separate like that?
That really wasn't heard of. I wouldn't think back in the late 60s, early 70s.
Beatles
Yeah,
did
not
so
that
much.
early.
Ringo quit.
Because most of the stuff was recorded live in those days.
But afterwards, you heard more about that, right?
I think Sgt. Pepper is what changed that. Was like overdub. Get your 6-track.
Well,
you
Pet
play it down.
Sounds did it too.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think Sgt. Pepper was more extreme because Ringo quit because of it.
Don't mess with Ringo.
And Ringo is actually good friends with Mark Bolan.
Yeah, I was surprised that he
And-
directed their concert movie.
Yep.
And it was weird because it's like 1971 Ringo, and he looks like he's like already 55 years old.
Gray in his beard.
It's only like
and
2 years after Abbey Road.
Bro, leave Ringo, bro. I love Ringo, bro. I'm
Yeah,
the
Ringo.
Ringo brother in our group.
So yeah, he filmed and directed a live show of theirs, and he did the photography for one of their later albums. For the front and back cover, I think, for their albums, Ringo did the pictures for the.
Ringo's my favorite Beatle.
Me too.
I fucking love Ringo. I got into it with Richard at MegaCon with Ringo. Do you remember that, Donnie? Were you there?
Yeah, I do remember that.
Yeah.
Ringo's underrated, you know. I like Ringo just for a sense of humor. He had probably, but John had a big sense of humor. You know, he was a goofball, but so was Ringo, and a lot of people don't realize that.
Have you guys ever watched Caveman?
I've seen it. I've seen it. It's
Dude, he's great in that, dude.
it's been a while.
All of the Beatles movies are top of the line.
Dude, I love Ringo, man. He's
Magic
one of my
Mystery Tour.
powers. I just think every time he hits him, it's like it's just perfect. I love Ringo. I got blasted for loving Ringo. Let's just say.
I would have been right there with you. I love Ringo.
I got blasted. I loved it. I loved it. But I got blasted. I stuck to it. I fucking love Ringo.
I would have died with you on that mountain.
That's good. I keep fighting that mountain. Richard just Ringo.
And George is my number 2 favorite.
Yes, definitely, bro.
Yeah,
Sure.
George is my number 1.
Yeah, Ringo and George are my favorite. Yeah, that's 1 and 2 right there.
Favorite songs?
I like Mumble Fun. I like the first one.
For me, it's tough because I like Bang a Gong. I like Jeepster, but because those are the 2 popular songs, my favorite non-popular song is Rip Off, last song on the track. Ends strong, ends hard. Man,
I don't think there's a bad song though.
I think if they could have, like after this album went in the direction of like they were going with the song Rip Off, dude, they would have been massive, man. I think they would have. They could have eventually, I think, could have turned into a punk band,
Or at least like heavy metal.
or a heavy metal type band. That song is so good, and it rips, man. No pun intended.
They could have gone places.
What?
It could have been the Bee Gees 2.0.
But Life's a Gas. I like Life's a Gas. I mean, it's got a lot of good songs. The opening song's super good.
It is.
Great opening song.
I think it's a 10-way tie.
But I'm gonna definitely go the last, since the other 2 are the already popular ones.
It's a good album. It's a really good album.
I'd say Life's a Gas. That'd be my pick.
When I first saw them start singing that, I immediately thought that the Ramones had covered the song because the Ramones did Life's a Gas.
But it's
a different song.
But he sings it like the same.
Yeah. Joey even did it on his solo record he did before he died. Life's a Gas, but it was different lyrics, but saying kind of the same style, which I thought was interesting.
Yes,
All of them. I can't pick one. But I mean,
there's a fire. You have to pick one song. You have to take one song with you.
Oh my God, hurry. Oh my God, Donnie, pick one. Oh my God, hurry.
probably Mambo Sun.
it's a good song, dude.
Or
It's a great-
Monolith. I'm gonna go with Monolith.
Monolith there's not a bad song on this album.
Initially, Jeepster was the first song that jumped out to me. But then when I realized that it was actually already a single, I'm like, well, what was it? Cut it?
What?
Rip it?
Rip it off.
Rip it off. That was.
Favorite, already forgot.
And you know what's crazy too is Rip It Off. I didn't even notice, like after listening to the album like 2 times before the third time. The third time I actually like listened to that or heard that song. I'm like, damn, like I just heard it for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
It was weird.
I kind of caught myself doing the same thing with the.
But also, in my defense, I was listening on Pandora, so I was having to listen to like the deluxe album that had like 19 tracks.
Yeah.
So it had the remastered studio tracks and then like 8 or 9 other tracks.
That's
so,
the reissue.
So the first time I heard the album, I didn't know that. So it's like, damn, I said, this album's friggin' long. I think that, and I think that's why the first time I heard it, I wasn't like impressed with it, because I heard like 19 songs in a row. And it was like, gee, I said, damn, it's a long song.
That's a long song.
But
That's a 3-hour song I just heard.
But I found out today when I listened to it again, I'm like, oh, it's actually 11 tracks instead of 19.
Yeah.
So I was able to. Plus, let me tell you, Pandora's been a pain in my ass. I'm almost sick and tired of it. But it's the only, besides YouTube, it's the only place that I can go and listen to the album in its entirety without being shuffled up, or because I don't pay for any of the services, so I take what they give me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it faults out on me a lot. Pandora will fall; it'll just cut off in the middle of an album, so I got to go back, find out where I left off at, restart it, watch the ads.
I stopped Pandora because of that, and I just
hate Pandora, but
I still stick with YouTube. I just stick with YouTube. And then Wikipedia, and then I started looking, okay, what's the actual track list?
Yeah.
I go from there.
Yeah, I need to listen to their other albums too. I have the Slider on vinyl, but I've only heard it once.
Slider? I think that's the one Ringo did the pictures on.
Yeah. He's on the cover and he's got a big top hat on.
Oh yeah, because he did the Mad Hatter.
Yeah.
Remember in the documentary?
Yeah.
He did like the little Mad Hatter thing video.
And I think
You drinking an
that
old
one has Metal Guru and Telegram Sam, which I believe are
White
kind
Russian.
of a little more rocker.
Is that an old fashioned?
It's an old fashioned, yeah.
Yeah.
Where's the smoke?
Oh, I got the smoker thing. I just didn't want to do that, but I do got the smoker. With the fire. Too.
They also did. If you've ever heard "Children of a Revolution," is T-Rex. We're all the children of a revolution.
I don't think I've heard that one.
That was a little later. That was I can't remember if that was on Zip Gun. Actually, no, that was a single. They were famous for that too. They released singles, and some of the singles that were pretty big you can't find on any albums because they weren't on any albums.
The album cover is good. Tommy, thank you.
Yeah.
I think I would have listened to this otherwise.
Yeah, I never even heard of the group before.
I've only heard the Bang a Gong song. That was the only song I knew of them.
That's before I heard the album. That's what I knew of them. And when it come across my radar, I'm like,
so have you heard their later albums?
What's that?
Have you heard some of their later albums, like before he died?
I listened to the Slider once, and I'm pretty sure that was it. That's the only one I've heard.
Did it grab you?
See, I don't remember.
I was wondering if they had changed from the 71 from this album to 76, 77 or whatever before he died. If their sound changed any, or
to my
I
knowledge,
see his style. I noticed in like 76 and stuff like that, his hair was a little bit shorter. His style was changed. He looked like a new age or a post-punk style. Like,
yeah. To my knowledge, they continued to evolve. They went through the paces of going more into the glam rock, and then out of that.
What year did he die?
77.
Yeah, 77.
Damn.
Yeah.
It's funny because in the documentary there was something about one of his bandmates or friends had said something about James Dean and dying in a Porsche, and he said something about that's something about the car being small, and he's like, well, I'll probably die in a Fiat or whatever, a Mini, and I think he ended up dying in a Mini, one of the Mini Coopers.
Yeah.
He predicted his own death.
Was he alone when he died in the crash?
Yeah. His girlfriend or wife or whatever, that she was one of his backup singers.
Mm-hmm.
She was a black lady. Did like the soul. She was an American. They had a baby together.
Yeah.
She was driving.
And she lived?
She lived, yeah. And then I read, I think the bass player or the drummer died in a car crash in 81. And another, I think there's only like one person left still living from this band.
How many members were they?
4.
4.
One of them died in 2003 or 13 from asphyxiation.
Asphyxiation?
Yeah.
He starved to death.
Asphyxiation. That's when you
Skinny.
you get strangled, right?
Strangle yourself.
Yeah.
I was something really stupid, but I can't say it. I was gonna make a bad joke, so I'll keep the bad joke to myself.
Do it.
Asphyxiation is like what the guy from NXS died from.
David Carradine, too.
David Carradine as well, yeah.
It's like some sexual pleasure that went sour.
Erotic asphyxiation.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, that's what the heck. Mickey Finn.
But I enjoyed it. I think I would, if I see this album on vinyl out and about at a thrift store or something like that, I definitely would buy it. Add it to the collection.
Can I just say something?
It jams.
We only got one album left. I get a lot of anxiety when we're doing this for some stupid reason. Not really anxiety, but I'm like, oh my God, we're doing this again. But then when we do it, I fucking love it. Can we pick some more albums?
I'm the same way. Once you get into the swing of it, it's like it's fun, you know.
It's like all Saturday, I'm thinking, oh, we got a show today. Oh my God, what am I gonna say? I got nothing to say. What am I gonna say? And then the show starts, and it's fucking great. And I love you.
Realize.
Love you guys. You know, it's fucking awesome. So can we pick more albums, Donnie, or are you done?
I don't care.
I don't care. Yeah, I don't care either. I
8 albums each.
Jesus Christ.
Let's do it, bro. 8 albums each.
I think 4 each.
4 each is good.
I think that'd be.
But 8 is better. 8
is better than 4.
Hey, that'll take us home for the rest of next year.
Yeah, bro. I think, okay, we'll do 4 each.
4 each is perfect.
4 each is good.
16 albums ain't bad.
Boston, Kansas, Journey,
Not there.
Kansas. We're not doing Boston.
Eagles.
Hate the Eagles, man.
We're not doing the Eagles.
Journey.
Hey, you know what I've been thinking? I got this running thing in my head. It's like my all-time. Like I've been watching videos. For some reason, I've been getting this on YouTube. Like 100, my 100 greatest songs, and I've been looking at those lists. And I'm like, I've been trying to do that in my head. You know, I haven't written anything down, but Journey, Who's Crying Now, I think might be in my top 10. Oh, don't hate on Journey, bro. Don't hate on Journey. All right, I get offended.
Okay.
All
I'll
right?
do it off. I'll do it off camera.
Yeah, do it off fair.
It's all right. Wheel in the Sky is probably one of my top ones too.
Which one? Which
Wheel in
one?
the Sky.
I love Wheel in the Sky, bro. Love Wheel in the Sky.
Wheel in the sky keeps on turning.
I don't know the rest of you guys.
Don't know where I'll be tomorrow.
Karaoke night in the Mastodon Comics YouTube channel.
Hey, next time we're doing the first rap album, right? It's our first rap album.
Nah, man, we've
No,
done Snow,
No, actually, yeah, we've done.
Rap, bro. I'm sorry,
House
bro.
of Pain.
We've done.
I don't consider Snow rap, dude.
We did House of Pain. We did what's his name?
You know what? You're right. We did House of Pain. Not that.
And we did the Sugar Hill Gang.
We did Sugar Hill Gang. We did what was the one you picked, Donnie? The other one?
I stand corrected.
What was it? Something Mike? Was it Mike? DJ?
Oh yeah, I did the. Yeah,
Oh, Eric B. and Rakim. That wasn't that.
yeah.
Right.
Wasn't that boat?
Dude, we've done a lot of albums, bro, when you look back. And I gotta say, that Snow album is one of the worst ones we've done, bro.
I don't know.
It's one of my worst. I was thinking of that too today or yesterday.
Tom-
The worst albums that I have not liked was the Snow album. The
Tommy was torture. That one was probably my worst.
Tommy has some stiff competition.
it was bad, but there was one like a punk one where the girl was the singer.
Oh, the Distillers.
Yeah, and you didn't like White Snake all too much.
No, Whitesnake's a given, but at least it had "Still of the Night," a really good song. But the rest of the album was terrible. But the Distillers, that was hard to listen for me. No. Okay, so we're doing another rap album next time, and I can't wait because this is actually one of my favorite rap albums.
So make sure you bring the information with you.
I don't do research. I don't.
And they just got inducted.
I'll do an old fashioned, and then we'll go from there.
Okay.
But it's a freaking bad. They're one of my favorite groups actually from all time.
They just got inducted too.
Did they really?
Yeah.
I
About
saw-
10 years. About 10 years too late, but you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, fortunately.
I saw Ozzy got inducted.
Yeah.
Wish Motorhead could have got inducted when Lemmy was still here.
Now none of them are around.
Yeah. Could have done that 25 years ago.
Yeah, they might as well not even bother now.
No, I wouldn't.
No problem.
I'd put them in the Punk Rock Museum in Vegas.
It's just like it'd be just like MLB putting Pete Rose in. No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, don't fucking bother. Don't
Yep.
bother. You couldn't do it while he was live. Fuck off.
Don't bother, dude.
Amen to that.
Yep. Totally agree.
So tell the audience what next week's album is.
No, wait. Let's
Don't keep them hanging.
let both tell us what the next album is.
Sometime in the near future, A Tribe Called Quest, Low End Theory, is going to be on the Mastodon Comics YouTube channel for review.
Picked by him.
by me.
For review.
Easy. Probably the only rap album in my top 10, I would say. It's good.
Have you listened to Midnight Marauders?
I have. I haven't really listened to the first one. I listened to a few songs.
That first one is great as well.
I listened to this and it was like, man, everything else sucks. it really like put in perspective.
It's really good.
It's good.
It's really good. Oh, the one before this and then Midnight Marauders after this is really, they're all fantastic albums.
I think this is the gap between Run DMC and like NWA, like just that thin line between the both. That's how I kind of pictured it.
I don't know if I said that.
Because you get that classic.
This is more classic. NWA was a whole different.
Yeah, that's a completely different ball game.
When NWA, when the freaking Straight Outta Compton came out, it was like, what?
And that's the difference. That's the differences between New York and East Coast, West Coast. There's
Yeah.
Yes,
I definitely like New York rap better.
me too.
And the punk rock, East Coast punk rock is better. Hardcore is better. We just do it better.
We do. I enjoy it more. I enjoy it better as well. You haven't got into Beastie Boys,
Oh,
Yeah.
definitely.
Love the Beastie Boys.
but not License to Ill. Their other stuff.
Yeah. Paul's Boutique is top of the line. I like even a lot of their like mid 2000s stuff. Like a lot of their later stuff is good.
Dude, Beastie Boys. If people think about them and all they think about is License to Ill, and License to Ill is nothing, bro. It's nothing.
Yeah.
Everything. They even did a all instrumental album that fucking is amazing. They don't even rap on it, and it's fucking amazing.
Their punk album or the punk songs they had come out was super good.
But that's how they started, was punk.
Yeah.
Was punk.
I can't remember the song.
That's why I like License to Ill, because it's still got some of those punk elements are still in there.
It is. It is. But all their, and I'm not saying I don't enjoy License to Ill. I do. It fucking blew my mind when I first heard it. But everything after, it was like, oh my god.
That's the song I'm thinking about. When did it come out? Beastie Boys. That came out.
License to Ill was, I think, was like 86, and I think
I think it was 86, yeah.
and then Paul's Boutique was maybe 90, 91, 92.
And I remember being a kid listening to Brass Monkey come on the radio.
Bro, it was amazing.
Yeah.
Paul Revere.
Beastie Boys had a song called
Girls. I think
Paul
Girls.
Revere.
Lee Majors Comes Again in 2009. That song slaps.
We'll talk more about that next time.
Yeah.
Because Q-Tip from Tribe Called Quest, he did a lot of shit. I think it was on Ill Communication, right?
Yeah.
Was it Ill Communication? He did a lot with them.
I'm excited for the next album because I've only listened to a few songs of Tribe Called Quest, so I'm not super familiar. I know one day we drove back from Brandon listening to them, which I've heard them back when I was in high school, but that wasn't my thing back then. Hip hop, I wasn't into hip hop then, so I'm more open to it now. So I'm a little more excited to listen to it now than.
It's an album. Just let it play. Just let it play.
Especially with the aspect of like jazz thrown into the mix of it, because I'm a new lover of like jazz music too. I love
It's so good.
younger me would punch myself in the balls if I said I like jazz.
Dude, jazz is what I've been listening to.
Oh.
I found this station.
Cramp.
Punching the balls.
What the hell happened?
I got a leg cramp.
Nice. Oh my God, you're taking after me. I like it. I like it.
God.
Fun. Dude, I found this jazz station down here, and that's what I've been listening to is freaking jazz. I'm in love with jazz, dude. Fucking love it. I've been getting into Bill Evans, Coltrane, Miles, Bill Evans. Oh my God, it's so good.
See, I like the older jazz. I like the 1940s.
Oh shit, no, I'm like in the 60s. I'm in the
50s.
Yeah. It's so good, dude. Jazz is fucking. My wife is like, "You're listening to elevator music now? Is that what you're into now?" And it's like, I'm just chilling. I'm even driving slow.
One jazz album that's like weird. I don't remember when it came out. It's called Machine Gun. See if I can find it. It is like an industrial album, and it came out in like the late 60s, or like almost like a proto grind album. It is that like outrageous and loud.
Dude, jazz is freaking. Look up
1968. It is crazy sounding.
One of my favorite songs, dude. It's the love scene. It's the love theme to Spartacus, and it's by Bill Evans. It's a slow song, and dude, I just think it's beautiful. It's just gorgeous, man. It's just, yeah. I'm feeling you both, man. Jazz is fucking insane. I'm really happy I'm getting into that.
Same here. Because I've always liked Frank Sinatra too, so that's kind of what led me into it for the most part. But yeah, man, I matter of fact, last night I was watching a video on YouTube of this old man. He's the world's oldest jazz drummer, 104 years old, and he was banging on the. Well, he wasn't banging, but he was. He sounded great though, and he probably had his grandson, which was probably like 65 years old, playing the clarinet, and he was singing like he kind of had like a Louis Armstrong as he was singing. Then had his kid, great grandson is probably like his other grandchild is probably 60, 70 years old on the piano.
Dude, it's fantastic.
It was cool, man, and they were jamming, dude, and he was sounding good. He had the brushes. It was great.
Dude, jazz is fantastic. I was talking to my son about it, and because he's been getting into it as well. Dude, and we don't like the Latin jazz. I'm Latin, and the Latin jazz is not for me. And he was the same way. He goes, yeah, I like the more of the bass and the sax.
Yeah.
And
the bass lines on this album are top of the line.
Insane, right?
They actually got a live bass player to play. I don't think they really sampled a whole lot of bass lines.
Dude,
blow your mind.
Spartacus, Love Supreme by Coltrane, Blue by Miles Davis, fucking phenomenal album, dude. It's just good stuff.
Is that the album or the song? Blue.
It's
all right. Just tell me one of them to check out first, because you're bombarding me with information here.
Miles Davis. I don't know if the album is called Blue something or Into the Blue or some shit like that. That album is
blue.
Yeah,
Kind of blue.
Kind of blue. Coltrane is Love Supreme. Dude, Bill Evans, Chet. Oh my God, what's this guy's name? Chet something, and I put him on as well, and I just let it play, and it's just fucking fantastic. Really good stuff. Chet Baker.
I'm gonna check out that Miles Davis album.
Yeah.
Fantastic album. Yeah. Bitches Brew as well.
Bitches Brew is fantastic. You just put anything Miles Davis, and it's like, oh fuck. Really good stuff, dude. Really good. Okay, this is almost like a backstage kind of shit we're doing.
It is. We better end the show, Donald.
We're gonna say the wrong thing.
We haven't talked about T-Rex in 45 minutes.
Yes.